Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you for listening to No Question About That. If you enjoy the show, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or you can support us at patreon.com/NQATpod, where there's merch and bonus episodes for subscribers. Welcome to No Question About That. I'm Ed with Tom today, and we're going to talk about Viktoria Plzeň 1, Manchester United 2 in the Europa League. How's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Is it Viktoria Plzeň because they're from Pilsen, as in Pilsner beer, or is it Plzeň because it looks like an L? I just can't work it out.
Yeah, I think the Anglophile commentators always say Plzeň or Plzeň. Yeah, Plzeň.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. I don't know if they've done their research or they're just
guessing about it and pull out my inner Farage and just like, oh, can't talk this foreign. Anyway, let's talk about a game. It was absolutely dreadful for an hour, wasn't it? I mean, I was like, my God, there's people who've travelled all the way over to Czechia and there's only 900 United fans allowed in. Apparently quite a lot went without tickets and they're watching an absolute steaming pile of crap, and then it all changed.
Yeah, it was one of those special Europa League nights, wasn't it? Really, like just kind of the Europa League nights that you kind of come to expect. Really, like boggy pitch, freezing cold weather, like tiny stadium against the third best team in Czech Republic or Czechia. Like it was just. Yeah, it feels like we've seen a lot of these types of games. I kind of think back to like that time when we played Astana and those games before were kind of like, oh my God, we're in the Europa League, like we shouldn't be in this competition. But now it's like these games are pretty important all of a sudden because they mean a lot to the trajectory of this team. They mean a lot for Amorim. They mean a lot for some of the players out there. So. And you can tell that by the way we celebrated our second goal with Onana like running forward. Because obviously,
he had reason.
It meant a lot for him as well, right? But yeah, it was a difficult watch for like you say, an hour or so.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I guess we should give credit to Amorim for changing it around pretty proactively. I mean, he does this. He makes 5 subs a game. Basically, he sees it as a 16-man game rather than 11 men, and United have. Currently, given there were so few injuries in the squad, got a very deep bench, and that's really helped. Like it completely changed the game doing all the subs last night. I mean, I guess we should talk about Viktoria Plzeň's goal because it was an absolute howler. I am a little bit loath to be quite as critical of Onana as you could be for some of the Forest goals, well, at least 2 of the Forest goals. And this one, because I kind of feel like de Ligt didn't help him out, didn't anticipate that the pass was coming. I mean, it was the wrong pass. United built up through their wide centre-backs, not through the centre-back. And so I kind of think de Ligt's just not expecting it, but he was totally back on his heels and didn't move at all. So not sure who to blame for that one.
I feel like Onana looked edgy all night, really. And I feel like he goes through these little patches. Like, I think one of the first crosses into the box in maybe the first 10 minutes, he came out and punched. He ended up punching de Ligt, didn't he? Yeah. I think it was de Ligt that he ended up punching. One of our own players, I can't remember who it was. And that kind of set the tone for the night. And like I said, I feel like Onana does go through these patches where one mistake, whereas someone like Pete Schmeichel, I heard him say on the Stick to Football podcast, he never made a mistake because he forgot about it as soon as he made it. Whereas I feel like Onana, it seems to me like he tries to therefore make up for his mistake by doing something even more exceptional.
Yeah.
Like so he made like a couple of errors on Saturday. So in the next game, I'm going to come for every cross or something, or I'm going to show everyone how good I am, rather than kind of just do what makes him a good goalkeeper by exactly what he's been like all season, kind of being sure of himself, being confident by doing what he knows he can do. Whereas in this game, there was multiple occasions where it's just making the wrong choice, which we haven't seen from him much this season. And that one was just the perfect encapsulation of that. Like he tried to play into an area where there was 3 calls and players where he could have just played it out to, I think it was Mazraoui on the right. It was just completely free. And I feel like Onana is really good at that. He's really good at finding the right pass. Whereas you see, I don't know, watch Southampton, how many times their goalkeeper, whether it's Ramsdale or the other 2 keepers that they've had this season, McCarthy and the young lad, they always play into trouble. Whereas Onana doesn't do that. He knows I think most of the time knows where to play the right pass. Or like De Gea, for example, we used to have these things all the time. And that's, I guess, because of quality and like knowing where to play the pass. But yeah, this was just, you don't want to see it from Onana as well, because I feel like he has, like I say, been really good this year. And now it's kind of 2 games and it's like, oh no, the old Onana of last season is back.
I hope he doesn't get the yips again, because he is leading the XG differential for goalkeepers, post-shot XG differential, nerdy, amongst all the top 5 European leagues. I mean, he's saved 5 point something goals for United, right? So above expected. So he's been really critical to United's, I was going to say success this season, but there hasn't been any success this season, but to it not being worse.
Yeah.
Let's say. But yeah, it's some bad errors, bad error against Forest, diving out the way, bad error not coming from the ball for Chris Wood's header, bad error with the pass last night, just played the wrong ball, should have gone to the right, went through the middle. So, and then, looked a bit nervy. But it wasn't the thing that undid United, fortunately, last night. I mean, the subs seemed to make a real difference in terms of just like the energy and the intensity of United's play, especially Mason Mount, who I thought was excellent for the last half hour. I mean, I suppose we should talk about like what went wrong in the first hour. I mean, he went with Malacia at left wing back. He's still building his way back to fitness, isn't he? After a year and a half out, went with the front 3 of Xerxes, Ahmad, and Rashford. Ahmad, who's bright all night. I suspect he's going to end up playing at right wing back. I mean, it doesn't seem to make much difference, honestly. In fact, in some senses, he gets more space in front of him when he's playing right wing back. Rashford looked completely off it. I mean, I definitely don't want to join a pylon, but I don't know what's going on with him. It just confidence absolutely in the toilet at the moment.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And Xerxes, I find it really hard to work out what he is. He clearly wants to come deeper. He doesn't make any kind of striker runs at all. Look, watch to see him make a bended run and play off the last man. He doesn't even look. There was a ball on when Bruno had it, just down the left, maybe 40 yards from goal. And there was a straight ball through to Xerxes, and he wasn't even looking. So I'm just like, well, he's never going to get the ball. And then I think he misplaced 13 passes in the first half. Wow. That's the thing he's supposed to be good at, the kind of touch and the turn and bringing other players in. And I'm sure there's a better player in there somewhere. It's just we're not seeing it very often at the moment.
Yeah. And we've seen that he can be good at that link-up play. Like the pass in the game against Everton that he made to Ahmad for the Rashford goal was awesome. Like he has at times got like these really soft feet, and he's really, really good at using the ball at times. But like last night, oh my God. And you made that point about him not looking for the pass through the middle. Like, I think it's because he realizes he doesn't have the pace if he gets in behind. There was that time against Chelsea under Van Nistelrooy where I think it was at 1-1 near the end of the game. Xerxes was played through one-on-one, and he had a 5-yard gap on the defender, and you just knew that he wasn't going to even get a shot away, and he didn't. He got caught up and tackled. Like, he's baffling. He's a baffling signing, actually. Like, I understand. You can see that there is a player there of some kind. Like, I think almost like in a low block, if he's playing against the team in a low block, I feel like he'd be a good, like, Giroud type player almost. You play, because Giroud was like really good at linking, really soft feet, could play around corners. It's obviously a strong presence as well. You can play it into him. You can hold off defenders. I feel like Xerxes has that about him, but you put him anywhere else on the pitch. And also he doesn't have, Giroud's link-up play was almost always crisp, always quality. He had like zero
Giroud's
pace.
good in the air, whereas Xerxes is not for a big guy.
Giroud had like zero pace, really. And Xerxes has similar, but you can make a player work because Zlatan had zero pace, and Berbatov as well. There are players you can play in the Premier League with zero pace as a striker, but like Xerxes' ability on the ball has to be better. He has to be neater, and he's just at the moment, like, we're just seeing flashes of excellence and brilliance, but like
he hardly ever puts it all together. Yeah, I don't think you can get away with zero pace and then not a brilliant all-round game in the Premier League. It's just the standard's too high. He looks a bit lost at the moment, honestly, and a bit out of his depth. But that's not to say I think that will always be the case. I think it's an observation of his performances rather than him generally. He made Serie A Team of the Year last season in a very exciting Bologna side under Motta. Motta clearly understood how to get something out of him. I don't think we found that yet. It's not obvious to me where he fits. He doesn't look like a number 9 to me. Doesn't look like a Amorim number 9 at all. He's not going to run the channels. I struggle to see how it works in this kind of system. He looks more comfortable as one of those 210s, but if he's going to play there, he just has to be much better on the ball and make the right passes. So that is a struggle. Rashford, I don't know what to say about him because the online discourse is obviously completely toxic. We know who it's driven by. It's driven by, a certain fan channel and a bunch of blue ticks who have made it deeply personal. And with a lot of stories coming out in the week that United are willing to sell. I don't know how true they are, but kind of. If you get to the end of the season, it continues like this. You'll have had 2 years of really bad form, a brilliant season before the 2 years, and 2 years of pretty bad form injury hit. Before that, that'd be 1 season in 5. And of course, everyone's going to go, well, what's the point, right? And everyone has a clean slate under Amorim, and Rashford isn't really taking his opportunity. Neither is Garnacho, which is why he's flipping between the players at the moment, because neither of them in brilliant form. And Garnacho's not an obvious fit either. I'm brilliant as we think his ceiling is, right? He's not a number 9 and he's not a number 10. So what is he? He came on and played left wing back last night, which honestly might be a good position for him. So
the Rashford thing is really worrying. And I think I'm almost at the point where I just think it's best for all parties. I don't think I'm there 100% because in his very early days of Amorim, I think players are going to take time. Him and Garnacho in particular, time to adjust to the new system. So I think there is a little bit of leeway there, but I just think I'm almost at the point of saying it's best for all parties if you go. And I don't say that with any glee at all. And I don't say that because I hate Rashford. I don't think he's given up. I do think he cares, but it looks like he's just completely bereft of confidence. And it's I know people will have their own opinions here, but none of us know for sure. Like, none of us know what's going on in his head. And I heard Amorim was talking about after the game of Hojlund and Ahmad having a go at each other and being angry at each other. And he was like, I like that they have something, they're showing something, they care. And the care thing, yeah, fair, but like, it's they show something. And Rashford doesn't. Like, the way he deals with his emotions, it's like Anthony Martial is similar. Like, they deal with their emotions by not showing them, essentially, by pretending like they don't affect them. And that for me, it's like a sign that they're going inside, that they're getting frustrated and angry. They must be because both of them are quality footballers, but didn't always show it, and would make stupid decisions, and for their quality wouldn't be playing to the level that we know they can. So they must be feeling frustration and anger, but they don't. It almost goes inside. Therefore, I feel like it might be eating them up. Whereas you see Hojlund's frustration, you see Ahmad's frustration last night. They were vocalizing it. They were getting angry at each other. I love the way, for example, someone like De Ligt, the way he talks on the pitch, the way he expresses emotions. Dalot's a bit over the top with his emotions, but he's a really expressive guy. Whereas Rashford, I don't think it's healthy the way that he appears to be on the pitch, and I don't think that's a not caring. I think it's, I'm not showing that I care. I'm not showing that I'm angry. I'm not showing that I'm frustrated, and therefore I think it's going inside and it's potentially eating him up. That is pop psychology for sure, but I don't think it's a not caring thing. I really don't. Maybe I'm giving him too much grace, but that's just my opinion.
No, he's a United Academy product. He was crying at the end of the cup final. It means a lot to him. I have no doubts about that. I'm not into the kind of pop psychology. His body language doesn't look good, sort of nonsense. I'm afraid that is thrown at players too easily because they're not being expressive and showing emotion. And the same with managers, right? If they don't like fist pump and knee slide and scream at referees, then like they don't care enough. I just don't buy that nonsense. I think it's bollocks. But something is getting at him clearly, and the performances, they've barely been any good performances recently. The sale or keep thing is a little more complicated, obviously, because he's on a pretty big package. That makes the overall package very expensive or reduces the fee United can get. And the idea, which you see from a lot of people online, is, just sell everyone and buy a bunch of new players like it's Football Manager and you've got like the edit mode on or something like that. I mean, it's just nonsense, right? The lower the fee you get, the less United will have to spend, and it's pretty tight anyway because we've had years of poor financial management. They made losses for 5 years in a row. We're very near the PSR ceiling last season. If we're not going to be in the Champions League next season, then you can reduce our revenues by 50, 60, 70 million compared to this year. And like, for example, City's revenue is about 70 million higher now. I mean, I know it's highly Abu Dhabi based, UAE based in terms of their sponsors, and is likely to get more that way given the recent changes to the associated party transactions rules. But like, compound that every year. United make losses, City make profits. Well, they made a loss last year, but generally speaking, and they've got loads of PSR headroom, and the gap gets bigger, not smaller. And so it really does matter. You have to make a really clear strategic decision about who you sell, who you keep, and why. And you get rid of a player like that, and given that Anthony will probably go as well, and there's question marks over Xerxes, then you start to think, oh, hang on a minute, we have these 8 forwards, but not all of them are going to be kept, not all of them in form. And if we have to go and buy a player of comparable quality, because Rashford still has a really good reputation inside of football, the football community, then you got a problem. Anyway, right, that's Rashford. One player who seems to be thriving under Amorim is Rasmus Hojlund, who has scored a couple of strikers' goals recently. The rebounds at the weekend, Garnacho shot, he took the rebound, and then last night, another, just after all the subs had come on, another striker's goal, I'd say. Yeah,
and I've said this from the start, I really like his personality. I really like his, and I loved, and I think Amorim said similar after the game, I like that he was getting angry at Ahmad. I like to see that type, because that's what I feel like the best strikers have. You look at Hojlund, like Hojlund has to go at his teammates every now and again if they don't play the right pass, and Zlatan always used to be like that. Rooney, obviously, Tevez, like they have that fire in them if they don't get it right. And I think that shows obviously outwardly it shows that they care, but also shows that they're really desperate for goals, and I want to see more of that from Hojlund, like this kind of tenaciousness, this tenacity in front of goal. And we have, I guess, seen that in the early days under Amorim, and I said on the podcast a few weeks ago, I feel like he has got very similar traits and characteristics to Gyökeres. And Gyökeres, when he was Hojlund's aide, was, I think, still on loan in the Bundesliga too, and was just about to be sold by Brighton for like €5 million. Hojlund is young. There's so much potential there. There's so much raw ability. And I feel like there's a huge potential there. And I think he fits perfectly into this team. And him coming on in the second half last night, Ugarte coming on in the second half last night, Mount coming on, these three guys in particular feel like they're going to be crucial for us right now. And I feel like the gap we're seeing in terms of quality performance, I feel like we played all right against Forest on Saturday. But like yesterday in that first half, the difference in quality between someone like Xerxes and Hojlund is looking large right now. The difference in ability between like someone like Ahmad and Rashford right now is looking large as well. And yeah, in some respects, it's really good to see Hojlund and Ahmad really thriving. But yeah, I guess we need, as a squad, to everyone to improve to the similar types of things. But I feel like this has happened a lot in United times. Like when Rashford was going on that streak under Ten Hag, like it feels like individually some players really buy into the new manager and buy into the new system, but it doesn't feel like we always have that collective transference. And hopefully we will, and some players will adapt quicker than others. But I'm just a little bit fearful that not everyone buys into it. But I guess that's where you can do your squad management and you can buy and sell players. But obviously, as you said, with our financial constraints, maybe we will have to kind of rely on the squad to transfer, to transform us.
Well, and some younger players coming through certainly helps, right? So, I mean, I was talking about it with Dan on the last pod. If you do a Barcelona and you bring in Lamine Yamal or Pau Cubarsí and who's the midfielder, I forget his name now, who's doing really well. That's £300 million worth of players there just come out of the academy. United who definitely do with getting some of these very talented under-18s, under-21s into the squad. Be next season, not this season. I mean, Toby Collier was in the squad last night, didn't come on. But he's not the most talented of all this group, but obviously a little older, a bit more experience, closer to the first team. In terms of the midfield makeup last night, I mean, Ugarte, I think, is probably the number one pick now. He just does that very disciplined job in front of the back four. Casemiro doesn't, but his numbers looked really good last night. Made a few interceptions and clearances, and he's obviously very good in the air. It's like, can he keep up with the physicality? And there's a lot of transitions that didn't happen last night because United had 70% possession or whatever. But against City at the weekend, that will not be the case. So it'll be interesting to see the mix. I'd be surprised if Ugarte doesn't start. Who his partner is a big question. I mean, Bruno played in midfield last night. I suspect he'll move into the front three at the weekend. Does Casemiro keep his place? Does Mainoo come in, even though he's not fully up to speed fit? Not had a lot of minutes. It'll be a big question, I guess. Bruno last night, I mean, he's still probably United's best player last night. I mean, he was like orchestrating the key things. I don't know if I love him in central midfield. I guess in a game like this, he just makes an auxiliary attacker, doesn't he?
Yeah, I just, as we saw from the Forest game, and as we saw, I think a couple of times last night, I don't like him when he's in our own half. I think he's not, he doesn't protect the ball well enough, and he's not clean enough, I don't think, with his passing sometimes. He's a little bit casual, he's a little bit sloppy. There was one towards the end, I think it was at 2-1, where he just played a blind pass backwards and it went to one of their players, but because it's Viktoria Plzeň, we got away with it quite easily and no one thinks about it again. I that's my fear of Bruno playing in that position. You look at like the best centre mids who play in front of the back four in that type of position. Their passing accuracy is 95, 96, 97, 100% sometimes. Look at Tony Kroos, for example. He hit a couple of 100%ers in last season. Like, you have to be tidy. If you're sitting in your own half, you have to be tidy with the ball. You have to have the Bruno has all the ability to create. He can put players in from any position on the pitch, but it's that short passing that sometimes he's just sloppy. It's like I say, he doesn't care about the ball enough, or he's not clean enough with it. And that's always my fear. I also kind of wonder, in my head, I don't know if Mount and Bruno can play in that 2-10 role together. Is there enough dynamism between them? Are they similar type of players? We kind of thought Mount was kind of similar to Bruno, not as good obviously, but when he first signed, I kind of envisage Bruno playing with someone like a Rashford or Garnacho, that more dynamic type of player, or Mount doing the same. I don't know if those two fit together. So therefore, on Saturday, I'm thinking, it'd be nice to see Mount play, but then where will he fit? Will he play beside Bruno? It might work, but in my head, I just don't see it right now.
Amorim, along with every other manager, seems to have been reluctant to play Mount in that 8th role. I mean, he's tidy with his passing.
Yeah.
He's energetic. He gets around the pitch. He does the defensive work. We know because he's very good out of possession, good trigger for the press and all of that. And maybe that's why coaches tend to use him further forward, because they see him as being the leader of that pressing mechanism rather than playing at 8. I'd be really tempted to try him at 8. Obviously, you're not going to do that for the first time in a derby away at City. That would be mad, I guess. But I'm just surprised it hasn't happened, because it seems like the other way round makes more sense, right? Bruno's the player who creates chances, and you want those chance creation, that passing, that creative passing, to be in the final third as close to goal as possible. That's when he does the real damage, when he scores goals, creates goals. So there's something I'm not seeing, but I'm not a professional coach. It just seems obvious to me, as some bloke on the internet chatting crap about football twice a week or 5 times a week or whatever we do these days. Right. But there you go. It hasn't happened. Mount, though, was pretty transformational. I thought he had an excellent half hour. He just seems, I mean, he's always been a intelligent player. It's just the output it's never been very high. He had one season at Derby when he got into double figures in goals and assists, and just generally speaking, just doesn't do that. And to expect that to change now seems mad, but he's energetic on the ball. He moves, seems to bring other players into play really well.
Yeah.
It was a very good half an hour for him. And certainly, I don't know whether it was enough to play him into the team for Sunday. But given that Amorim sees this, as I said, as a 16-man game, maybe it doesn't matter whether he starts or not.
Yeah. I really like Mount, and I feel like he's the type of player who would become like a type of a fan favourite. And I think he was at Chelsea as well, because it feels to me like he chooses the right option almost all the time, which is pretty rare in our team. Like, the reason why I feel like the first half was so frustrating last night is because we got into a lot of positions and we got a lot of openings, but the last pass was just terrible, or the last decision was just terrible. Whereas I feel like Mount, he has limitations. He doesn't have that much creativity, I guess, maybe ingenuity in that respect. His technical quality, there are better technical quality players out there, but his assuredness, his cleanliness with the ball, and it's also his ability to make the right decision, and with all the other stuff that you kind of said as well, just makes him really important, I think. And like I say, in a team where we are full of bad decision makers, he does stand out even more, because when he comes on, he sees a pass, he makes the pass, and like you say, like that, in my opinion as well, I agree. Like that fits in playing in front of the back four more than a Bruno type, because Mount is going to keep the ball better, and maybe he hasn't got the discipline right now, or maybe he hasn't got the tactical intelligence to play in front of the back four, because
I think
maybe
he does.
Just because he hasn't played it, the experience maybe. But I don't know the answer to that. It just feels weird that it's not.
Yeah, it seems odd to me, because it seems like a really natural fit, whereas when he first came to the club, it made no sense, because you're like, well, we're buying a £55 million deputy for Bruno, because Bruno never gets injured, never needs to take a rest, is always going to play. And it was very odd. Now there's an extra spot, basically. Although you've taken Zaka away, you've created an extra attacking midfield spot. in this new system, and that just seems like a good fit for Man. We'll see in the fullness of time. He's got to stay fit, of course, and 4 or 5 games back into his comeback. Let's not count any chickens just yet, because he's had a really horrible time with injuries. Yeah. All right, we've got to talk about the winning goal, because this is just brilliant all round. The pass from Bruno from the free kick into the channel, the touch from Hojlund. Someone on Paramount, where I watched the game here in the US, said, "Oh, that was a bad touch." I don't think it was. I mean, I know it popped up a little bit, but he's kept it in his zone, and it's a brilliant first-time finish. So he said after the game, Hojlund said, "I'd seen Bruno do that before, so I was anticipating it." Something to that effect anyway. And so I don't know whether that's one they planned or just instinct. But it was
he said
fantastic.
He saw him do it to Anthony Martial before.
Yeah, that's it.
Which in my head means that this is from you watching us when you weren't at the club, I guess. Which is, he's doing this homework, this boy, I think. Yeah, it was so good. The finish is exactly what you want. And also, I don't know. His celebration just, and maybe this is me reading too much into it, the celebration is just of a person who like knows he's a goal scorer. Like, it's that kind of like, look at me, like, yes. Like, I love a striker who celebrates like that. If you look at like Pipo Inzaghi, like the way he celebrates goals, he would score a tap in from half a yard out, and he'd be sprinting to the ultras and jumping over the hoardings after every single goal. I love that from a striker who properly enjoys scoring goals, and that's what you want. And if Hojlund is going to be our number 9 or 30 goal a season striker, I want him to fucking love scoring. Like, every single goal you score, I want you to love it. And that's what you want from a striker. Like, Haaland, like, he loves scoring goals.
Even if it is game week 6 of the Europa League group phase, away at but fuck no one in the fucking Europa League.
Numbers, or it's for the team. I don't care. Van Nistelrooy as well. You see like how much Van Nistelrooy is to celebrate goals. I love it. Ronaldo, Cristiano, probably too much. It was quite actually like the way that he was like very selfish with the way like he used to celebrate, not celebrate other people's goals. But like he used to celebrate his goals so much. I was watching his goals from the second time he was at United. He was celebrating his goals so much. He even does in Saudi Arabia. Like, loves scoring, and
he probably gets a goal bonus for every time he does the financial bonus for every time he does the Sue celebration. I don't like talking about that guy.
No.
Anyway, Hojlund, I have a lot of confidence in this guy. It's not, the discourse online tends to be, unless you're the best player in the world, you're rubbish. And it's this it's this dumb binary thing that you have to do in order to get engagement and drive anger and discussion or whatever. He looks to me like he has the potential to be a very good striker. Is that a 15-goal striker? Is that a 20-goal striker? Is it a 30-goal striker? I don't know. Clearly, he has to develop his game, get into the right areas more often, make those channel runs, make those curved runs, all the kind of things you have to do to get in the right position. We know he's an efficient scorer, so it's about shot volume, and he'll get more shots off in better positions with hopefully a bit of experience in coaching. He said that Amorim is doing some very important things. So it's a bit cryptic. I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that, but hopefully the important things include showing this guy how to score a lot of goals. I know Amorim was a defender, so maybe not his bag, maybe the coaching team. But if he can score 20, 25 or more goals a season, that certainly makes up for Garnacho's lack of efficiency in front of goal.
Yeah.
The fact that Ahmed doesn't score that many, Bruno's volumes down in recent years, and Rashford's not scoring at all, right? Oh, well, he's actually got 7 this season, but it feels like he's not scoring at all. Then that's really important, and he'll make himself a fixture and a very important tactical part of the team as well as the goal. So, I love that goal. I love the fact he's celebrated, even though it's like stupid, meaningless Thursday night game in the absolute freezing cold in Eastern Europe. We want to be beating Real Madrid at the Bernabeu on a Wednesday night in the Champions League, not playing Viktoria Plzeň, as you said, the third best Czech side or whatever they are. So, but there you go. Goals.
It's also just really nice to have a system which utilizes the striker. because for the whole of Ten Hag's era, we're just watching Hojlund standing around as the two wingers cut in and had a shot. Like, whereas now we've seen it. Like Xerxes scored a couple, like Rashford scored a couple. I think actually maybe scored 3. Haaland's now scored 5. Hojlund's now scored 5, I think, under Amorim. Like the strikers are getting chances. The strikers are being played in, and that's just, I mean, that can only be a good thing that they're actually being involved in the game. And I do think, there's a lot for Hojlund to improve upon, but he's really young, and these raw materials, like I say, are really there. And it's not just his. I don't think he's just like the type of striker who would just become a penalty box striker and only provide finishes. I feel like he has that ability to run the channels. He has that strength. He has that passing ability and crossing ability, I think, as well. And yeah, if he can become a 20, 30 goal striker, he will be, in the end, more effective than someone like Haaland, because Haaland doesn't do anything else apart from score. Obviously, he scores a lot of fucking goals, but you actually look at his kind of all-round play, he doesn't do that.
Look at him at Juve the other night. He's dreadful.
Yeah, Hojlund is better at that.
Yeah. All right. It leaves United in a pretty good position in the Europa League. We were pretty worried, but unbeaten in 6 games in the Europa League, by the way.
Wow.
So, yeah, I know. It's just those draws early in it.
European has changed for us.
Here's a stat for you that someone on Twitter wrote. There are 3 managers in United's history who've won their first 2 European games. They are Sir Matt Busby, Sir Alex Ferguson, and Ruben Amorim.
This is it. Wow.
So clearly he is the second coming. He's the bastard child of Sir Matt and Sir Alex.
Wow.
Yeah,
treble is coming.
We are back. Treble, quadruples. Quintuples.
2026.
Let's talk about Manchester City versus United at the weekend. I mean, there's a sense in which you couldn't be playing City at a better time. They've got injuries to key players. They've lost 7 out of their last 10. Pep doesn't seem to know how to turn it around. He goes between like self-harm and trying to start fights. The players look a bit lost, honestly. They were dreadful against Juve. They've had 1 win in the last 10, and that was against Forest. And they scored pretty early in that game, changed the dynamic of the game. They should have lost to Palace as well. It really should be 8 defeats in the last 10. They don't seem to be able to turn it around because they don't have the legs in midfield at the moment. They've got an aging squad, didn't refresh it. Alvarez sold seems to be a mistake. Obviously, Rodri injury, but they played 7 games after the Rodri injury before the bad run started, right? So it's not entirely that. Yeah. So there's a lot going wrong, which obviously means they're going to turn into Barcelona 2011 peak Pep and pull out the best game of the season on Sunday, obviously, right? So I don't want to crow too much, but it feels like couldn't be a better time to be playing this City side.
Yeah, I think I read a stat though that 6 of their 7 or 8 losses in the last few weeks have been away from home though, so it's not like their home form has been truly terrible, but obviously they are at the worst that they've ever been under Pep, obviously, and for I can't remember the last time that they've ever been this bad. It's absolutely joyous to watch. However, like you say, there is so much trepidation inside of me, and just thinking that they're going to turn up on Sunday. The crowd are going to be massively up for it, obviously, and where they rarely are, like it's not like City are renowned for their great atmosphere. Well, quite the opposite. But you just think, is this kind of their like one last hurrah, is to kind of beat us and then like sail off into the distance? Because I don't think they're going to do anything this season, like you say. That
doesn't look like it.
They really look like they have holes for the first time under Pep. Like you say, their midfield, like they're still trying to find a solution to the Rodri miss, and they're trying to fill it with a really old Gundogan. I heard Ken Early on the Second Captain's podcast just describe him as Uncle Gundo. Like he is kind of looking like an uncle in there.
Yeah.
De Bruyne is not getting any younger. De Bruyne can still play an amazing through ball, probably the best in the Premier League, maybe in the world at doing that. but he used to rely on his energy, he used to rely on his legs, and that they're kind of going. There's not that much in attack, really. Like Doku is completely
not
hit and
had a
miss
great
and
season.
just doesn't fit into their
Grealish
system.
hasn't scored for 44 games.
Wow. Yeah,
I know.
I
It's
saw, like,
the whole season of not
almost
scoring.
Anthony levels of output from Grealish.
Grealish has got 14 goals since he joined City. Anthony's got 12 for United. He's played season less. So
wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Coutinho's really hit and miss as well. Like he looks at times like the new Riyad Mahrez, and at other times he looks again like Anthony.
Yeah, he's more direct, I think, than Mahrez, or doesn't have the passing range, does he?
No.
Doku's been off it. I thought he looked brilliant last season.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem the same player. Obviously, Hojlund doesn't contribute much to the overall game plan, but it's okay because he outperforms his XG by miles and miles. He's only 4 and something ahead of his XG this season, so it's a little bit down. But still,
then their back four are being shown up as well, aren't they?
Yeah, back three or back four.
And Walker looks like an uncle. Like
he really does.
He
really does. Rashford's not had a lot of good games against Walker, but it's about time, isn't it?
Yeah,
about time. The amount of chances they give up City has really spiked. In fact, their XG differential is now negative in this. But obviously, they've conceded 23 in the last 10 games.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
I can't remember which team. It's one of the teams in Germany. Are the only team in the top 5 Euro leagues to have conceded more goals over this stretch. I know it's one of those ridiculous manipulated stats, but City are conceding a lot of chances on the transition, which, note that will be how United have a lot of success on Sunday, I imagine. It's got to be more transitional than we're able to do against Arsenal, where we barely create a chance at all. I just can't. Yeah, I'd be disappointed if we played 2 fullbacks, defensive fullbacks on Sunday because it didn't work against Arsenal. But yeah, City got all sorts of problems. United, like what sort of team are we going to see? So we're going to have Mazraoui, De Ligt. Is it Martinez? I mean, I guess it is, although he's having not a great season.
Yeah.
I assume we get back to Dalot at left wing back and Diallo at right wing back. Is it that?
Yeah, probably.
That's the more attacking version, or it's going to be Dalot at right and then Malacia at left. Unlikely. Or I guess you could play Mazraoui and Dalot in those wing back positions.
Yeah, Mazraoui hasn't played at wing back yet, though, has he?
No, he hasn't. I mean, he seems to. I mean, he's slotted in very, very comfortably at right side of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Or does Lenny Yoro come in, and one of Mazraoui and Dalot drops out? It's kind of a lot of interesting options. So Yoro's got that recovery pace. If they play Doku, that would be very useful. That's a big if, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a big ask as well, though, for Yoro to start his second game being against City away. I kind of thought the Europa League game in midweek would be...
Yeah, they just must be managing the recovery.
Yeah.
So, and then central midfield's the big one, isn't it? Duarte and Casemiro, Duarte and Mainu. What's the balance we're going to go for there?
I think I'd prefer Casemiro in this game. I really like Mainu, but I think Mainu 2 games into Amorim and looking again still not quite match fit.
A bit rusty,
I think he can be overrun a little bit. He does. Yeah, I think he just looks quite leggy in general, to be honest. Like he's still got that quality on the ball, and he will have, obviously, as he's just a quality player. But right now, I don't. I'd prefer Casemiro, and I thought the Casemiro-Ugarte duo looked really good under Van Nistelrooy. And I know it's in a different system, but I thought they complemented each other quite nicely, and it means that. Yeah, it gives us that real stability in front of the defence. And maybe we don't have that passing quality from there, which we would have if you put Bruno, Eriksen, Mainu, Mount in there, but you have that solidity. And I think that's really important. I think also Casemiro is maybe not, he doesn't have the technical quality, but he has the intelligence to know when to play the right passes into forward place positions. And he's also really underrated at going forward as well, finding space.
He scores goals, and especially from set pieces. So I'd be tempted to do that. Obviously, Mainu's way more press resistant, and that can make a real difference against City. But just coming back from that injury, it would be a big ask. We'll see. I mean, the system's not going to change, is it? It's 3-4-3. We know exactly what, or 3-4-2-1, whatever way you want to call it. It'll be that. And then up front, so does Diallo play at right wing back, or does he play? And I suspect he'll play at right wing back to get one more attacking player in. Yeah. And then we'll see Hojlund, Bruno, and then it's one of Mount and Garnacho. Garnacho, we think we're going to play a bit more transitional football, I guess. Or Mount and Bruno just to try and retain the ball and be a bit neater in those forward positions, though no pace really with that.
I'm just thinking, though, did Ahmad play? Ahmad played the last 2 90s, though, didn't he? And I'm not saying that doesn't mean he's going to play on Sunday, but Amorim does like to rotate, and he doesn't often like to play guys get full 90s in a row, especially he plays in that type of position. I think he will, but I don't know. I wouldn't be that surprised if I saw on Saturday that Ahmad was somehow on the bench, despite him being, I think, our best player under Amorim.
Yeah, the ball carrying's good, though, isn't it?
Really, he's just really good. Yeah, I think last night there was a few times where he made the wrong choice, but I think he's been our best player under Amorim. I think Hojlund has to start, doesn't he? And then it's just finding that last position. Part of me is interested to see the Mount Bruno, but there needs to be more dynamism, especially if we're going to hurt them in transition, which is what we need to do on Sunday. And therefore, it's Garnacho or Rashford, and I don't know what I prefer out of the two.
Neither are playing particularly well at the moment.
No, and they're probably on paper our 2 best quality players. I saw Ahmad. They were kind of asking a lot of our players like questions, who's the best player you've ever played with? And Casemiro was like Ronaldo, and someone else says Cristiano as well. And Ahmad was like Rashford. He's kind of just shows like the quality the boy has. But yeah, it's not coming off for him at the moment. But maybe this is the game for him. He scores a lot against City. He scored quite a screamer against them last season.
God, yeah. He hit like with some anger, didn't he? Came out of absolutely nowhere. I mean, he scored, I don't know whether it was his first game against City back in 2016. Got that penalty. Yeah. So he scored quite a few against City. Can't remember. It's 7 or 8 goals now. Really? He's historically been a big game player.
Yeah.
Anyway, lots of options in a way that we have not had for some time. And we haven't even seen Eriksen. He's been banished, basically. Yeah. We haven't seen much Casemiro as well, but he's had a couple of games now. So, yeah. All right. 5-0 win. Come on.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be absolutely... I don't want to tempt fate, but wouldn't it be absolutely delicious to really tank them?
The thing is, you can't predict United. Like, you just can't legislate for some of the stupid mistakes that we make. Like,
and there've been quite a few recently.
Yeah, like we've got that in us. It doesn't matter how well we play in this game. Like a shot could come in from 90 yards and it could spill through an Onana, or like we could do something just ridiculous, like from a corner or something. And like, you can't legislate for some of our players' stupidity at times. And so, yeah, you might say, yes, City are in a bad run, we're in getting better, blah, 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 but who knows what's going to happen with Man United.
Oh, dear. Well, the cup final was great last season. I was, for another piece, reviewing some famous wins at the Etihad or a Main Road before that. There have been some crackers. Scholes last-minute header. Van Persie with a free kick. Oh, God, so sweet. So sweet. Yeah. So
it was a period, wasn't there, where we were scoring last-minute winners against them seemingly every time we played them.
Yeah. Also, during that same period, getting absolutely tanked by them. So that seems unlikely. City aren't creating the same level of chances, and they're conceding a lot. But as you said, there's a lot of problems from transitions away from home. Good luck, United. Thanks, everyone, for listening or watching wherever you are. You can subscribe on our YouTube channel or in your podcast app of choice. People don't do that. Very odd. Why would you not? Go on, sort it out. Or you get bonus content at patreon.com/NQATpod. Appreciate your support and backing. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
See you next time. Have a good one, everyone.